it's Ronnie here from Crypto Nation. Welcome to another one of my cryptocurrency videos. I know I've not been around for a while. This is the first video I've made this week. I've only done about 2 or 3 videos in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and that's really just because my my fiance has been ill and she's been in hospital and had an operation and stuff, and she's out now and sort of recovering and stuff at home. So I've just been a bit busy kind of looking after her, making sure she's okay and stuff like that, and sort of paying a bit more attention to family than really just sort of making videos and stuff. But yeah, I'm back, so I'm going to try and make a few more videos more often. But yeah, so just wanted to give you guys the lowdown on why I haven't been around for as much for the last few weeks. Before we go on, just a disclaimer, this is not professional financial advice. I'm not a professional financial advisor. I'm just someone who's passionate about cryptocurrency and really just sharing my experiences and what has worked and hasn't worked for me. So please don't go and invest more than you are willing to lose. Anyway, that's just my advice. But yeah, so shooting straight back into it, what's happened in the last few weeks? Well, if you've been living under a rock in the crypto space, just haven't been around to pay a lot of attention in the last few weeks, what has been happening in this space? Well, first of all, we had all the FUD around China, and really what China's doing in the sort of cryptocurrency space, where they were essentially closing down Bitcoin exchanges and banning ICOs, and there's been talk of banning Bitcoin mining in China. So that's obviously put prices and stuff quite under pressure in China, or not in China, but just in general. Bitcoin was down quite a lot. It's been trading under $4,000 for pretty much the last 2 weeks, going down and up, but staying at that below that 4,000 mark for the last 2 weeks, and it's only in the last day gone up to over $4,000. I think it was trading at something like $4,168 a bit earlier when I checked, but we'll jump into the market review in a second. But really, so there's a lot sort of happening in China at the moment, and I think one of the reasons, and this again is just sort of my opinion, I think one of the reasons for this is really just how people are using, especially in countries like China and especially in countries where currencies suffer from massive drops in value, or where there's hyperinflation. A lot of people, instead of what they would have done in the old days, which is move money into things like gold, which effectively was a store of value, because gold always held its value and it was traded in US dollars. So if you changed your money into gold, it didn't matter really what your own currency did, whether it went up or down, you always had a store of value. So people have been doing this in large parts, especially in countries like Venezuela, but also specifically in China. So if you look at the devaluation of the yuan some time ago, and the massive inflation in the value of Bitcoin, that had a lot to do with Chinese people moving a lot of their money into digital currency as a store of value. So obviously regulators in the Central Bank of China, who is trying to control the value of the yuan, is obviously clamping down on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole, and trying to get people not to invest their money into cryptocurrency as a store of value, so that they can control how people use their money, effectively control the fact that people have to use the local currency, which is the yuan. So as I said, that's my opinion on it. Have a look, go and do some of the research out there on the internet. It's pretty easy to find, but yeah, if you do the research, you'll pretty much see the trend becomes pretty evident if you sort of look at that. And that's sort of happened over, in quite a few sort of places around the world when sort of these things happen, whether it's gold or Bitcoin or whatever. But as soon as central banks, as soon as people move their money out of currency and put it into stores of value like gold or Bitcoin, central banks who effectively are private institutions that control the fiat currencies, the money that we use every day to buy stuff, they basically get spooked because they no longer have control over your money, your value. So I think that's one of the reasons that had a lot to do with it. I think the whole banning of ICO thing really was had a lot to do with the Chinese people's relationship to gambling, and I think a lot of unscrupulous ICOs which effectively were scams and stole a lot of people's money. So there are the sort of two sides to that argument. But yeah, so that's what have happened in sort of China. And then the other big thing was been the multiple comments by asshat Jamie Dimon, which basically came out a few weeks ago, right in the middle of the China crisis, and called Bitcoin a fraud, and then came back out, I think sort of last week, and said something else about Bitcoin. But basically, that's just all bullshit. You've got to understand, for bankers like Jamie Dimon to call Bitcoin a fraud is real bullshit. I mean, but Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole, and peer-to-peer transactions through blockchain technology really is the biggest threat that the modern, or just the banking system, has faced in, I think, in its entire history. Nothing has come along since that has made the whole purpose of a bank so null and void as blockchain and cryptocurrency technology, where we don't need banks anymore. We can exchange money, we can exchange value between individuals, between institutions, without having that central authority there that needs to manage that. As I said earlier, you've got to understand that currency, that we exchange every day, these things are all controlled by central banks, privately owned central banks that manipulate these rates for their own good. So for a banker to, like Jamie Dimon, to come out and say things like Bitcoin is a fraud is just bullshit. Bitcoin is never going to need a government bailout like JP Morgan did, to the tune of like $12 million. Bitcoin is never going to be charged with fraud in the same way that something like, I don't know, it was 10 or 12 massive American banks and financial institutions were. They're not going to be charged with collusion and sort of insider trading and all these dirty, corrupt, filthy things that big corporate banks like JP Morgan and all these other banks do. They always come out and sort of target Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as being a way for criminals to launder money and to buy illicit things. Well, I can tell you one thing: JP Morgan has certainly laundered money, a lot more money for a lot of criminals. Probably a lot more that's happened through cryptocurrency or through Bitcoin. For him to call Bitcoin a fraud is just nonsense. I suppose it takes one to know one at the end of the day. So, Jamie Dimon, yeah, that's it. But to the contrary to that, actually, just recently a couple of more positive things that came out. So something that was in the news today is actually this article over here, which is from a senior analyst at the Maguire Group, which has basically come out slating Jamie Dimon, or the comments that Jamie Dimon made about Bitcoin being a fraud, and basically says that there is massive speculation going on in this space at the moment, but to call Bitcoin a fraud is nonsense, and actually that the technology that Bitcoin is built upon is durable and will continue for quite a long time. And I think one of the reasons for bankers coming out, for governments to try and control cryptocurrencies at the moment, or trying to control or put a stop to the cryptocurrency in its current form is because they know that the technology is here to stay, and the whole cryptocurrency thing is not going to go away. So what banks and governments are trying to do is they're trying to kill off Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin so that they can put their own currencies, cryptocurrencies, and just sort of blockchain technologies in place that they can use to control the flow of money, of value, and effectively manipulate it in the same way that they manipulate normal fiat currencies. So that's kind of one of the other reasons that I believe. But anyway, so there's this guy called Victor Shvets. I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but I think it's Victor Shvets. And he's basically come out and he's taken a direct sort of attack at the allegations that Jamie Dimon made about calling it a fraud. Basically came out in support of Bitcoin and said, you know, the technology is here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. Bitcoin is likely to evolve, and it is going to evolve as time goes on, and it has to for it to meet the demands and the needs of the world as it goes on. So that's not going to go away. Bitcoin might not be in its current incarnation in 5 years or 10 years from now, but it's definitely not going away. One of the other ones that was really sort of an interesting one that came out today was Morgan Stanley's CEO. And he basically said that Bitcoin is more than a fad. Again, taking another stab at what Jamie Dimon has said about Bitcoin just being a fraud or just being a fad. And he is, again, his name is James Gorman. He's the CEO of Morgan Stanley. And his comments were in the Wall Street Journal today and also reported by Bloomberg. And he then said, and this is the quote from I'm just reading from a website, but he says the concept of anonymous currency is a very interesting concept. Interesting for privacy protection. It gives people interesting because what it says to the central banking system about controlling that. So I think for a CEO of a major international bank to come out and say that, especially to say something about what the concept of cryptocurrency says and the message that should send to the central banking system that is trying to control it and that is controlling fiat, is quite a massive statement from him. So so he said that obviously it is a highly speculative market at this point in time, but again, you know, banks down on the fact that blockchain technology is not going to go away. It's not going to go anywhere. It's here to stay, and it will evolve and it will change, but it's not going to go away. So to call it a fraud is bullshit. So have a look. I mean, just Google this on the internet. I found all of these articles in CoinDesk, but they kind of all were around Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg. You can find these articles there as well. Have a bit more of a read on them. There's some really interesting stuff coming out of that. You know, some big bankers around the world coming out and really giving their support to Bitcoin and blockchain. And even though they're talking about the speculation, it's they are giving their support to the technology and the whole concept behind cryptocurrency. So you know, I think cryptocurrency in the market where it is for me at the moment is a lot like the internet was in like 1994, 95, something like that. It was very new. There was all this stuff going on. You had all these new companies setting themselves up, selling services and all that sort of stuff. And it was a bit of a highly speculative market. If you can think about the sort of pre-dot-com bubble that burst, you know, people were just putting money. You almost had to be an idiot not to make money out of the whole the rise in the Bitcoin in the dot-com boom. And when the bubble burst, people said, oh, well, you know, that's the end of the internet, and the internet's going to go away and it's just a fad, it's just some blah, blah, blah. Well, here we are today, and I can definitely tell you that the internet was not a fad, and the internet did not go away, and the internet has continued to revolutionize the world in which we live in. And that is, I think, is going to be the truth for blockchain and cryptocurrency. I think Regulation is going to come to the market. That is inevitable. When that happens and in what form that is, we are yet to see. In the same way that regulation came to the internet, you know, not censorship of the internet, but regulation around how some of that works and standards and policies and sort of governance and things like that to make the internet a more secure and usable technology and valuable thing for society as a whole. I think that same thing is going to happen to cryptocurrency. I think, you know, all the sort of stuff that's happening at the moment, it will come to a head, and I think there'll be some regulation put around it, but I think it will be for the good. As long as everyone can get a seat at that table and define what that regulation looks like for blockchain and that sort of and cryptocurrency and that whole space. But anyway, so that's my update, my news update in the crypto space at the moment. I'll do some more news updates as they sort of come through the next time I do a video, and just a couple of my thoughts on that. So anyway, let's jump through into the cryptocurrency market update. So where are we today? We're at $144 billion is the market cap. BTC dominance sitting at 48% currently. And as I said, the market is doing a lot better today than it did for the last few weeks. It was pretty flat for the last few weeks because of all the stuff that had been going on that I've just been talking about. But in the last few days, it has sort of started going up again. Excuse me. Bitcoin is over that $4,000 mark again. Ethereum just under. Excuse me. Just under $300 at the moment. It was over $300 a bit earlier on today. If you guys can sort of see these charts, they have been on the up. I think Bitcoin is probably up on the week something like 10 to 12%. And that's pretty much the case for most cryptocurrencies. Most cryptocurrencies have been on the rise. Ethereum still up. Ripple and everything else basically still going up. Litecoin, which currently is one of my favorite coins, still loving Litecoin, and I'm still loading up on Litecoin. This is actually really cheap. I've been stocking up on Litecoin, as you can see. I'm very excited, but I've been stocking up on Litecoin when it has been this cheap, and cheaper than this. I mean, not too long ago, I remember Litecoin being at $90. Which is great, and I still think, you know, we're going to see $100 Litecoin, you know, way before the year's over if everything goes well, and I still think that there's quite a bright future for Litecoin. So Dash is kind of sort of up and down a bit at the moment. Monero is doing well. Monero is still sub $100. Monero. I still think this is a really good price for Monero. I actually wanted to buy some more Monero. At the moment, I'm currently just moving some of my money in the portfolio around, buying a couple of other coins, stocking up on Litecoin, as I've just said. But I still think Monero is still a good buy at this price. So is a Mise Go, $10.41. I think a Mise Go is still quite a good one. And yeah, so overall, I think the market is up. The market is looking good. One of the coins I keep on talking about with you guys is it's on the top of my tongue now. Chainlink. Sorry, that was it. Chainlink. Yeah. So Chainlink is doing very well at the moment. Chainlink is up 23.95% on the day. If you guys can remember, about 2 weeks ago, I made a video on Chainlink just on the day it listed. I was talking a bit about their technology behind Chainlink. I still think this is really interesting technology that the company's doing. They've got a Oracle network that basically aims to bridge the gap between what they call off-chain technologies or off-chain data and smart contracts. So if you can think about having a supply chain smart contract on Ethereum that is reliant on IoT data, the sensors that scan products coming out of a warehouse being loaded onto a truck, and all the way through to where it gets sold, you know, packed out onto a shelf. All these things are programmed into a smart contract, but there is no link between the data that's coming in from, you know, sensors, Internet of Things sensors, payment gateways, all these type of things. And what these guys are doing with their blockchain technology is building a like a middle tier, effectively, that links the blockchain to APIs and to data that lives on off-chain in off-chain devices. I still think this is one of the most interesting blockchain technologies or companies that I've seen this year, and I'm definitely buying some tokens into them. There's some real world applications for this technology. They've got a really interesting team, and I think this is a really good buy. Just going back into them, you guys can see that it's currently trading at 24 cents. And a short while ago, I sort of made a video right about sort of here when it was about 19 cents. It did have a dip down to about 13 cents after that because of the whole cryptocurrency market dip. But you guys can see it's on the up at the moment. And I've been loading up on some chainlink at the moment. I still think this is like Civic, a really good buy. The company's got really good fundamentals. The team's good. The product they've got really good. So I think that, at least in my opinion, I really like chainlink. So so that's really kind of my quick market wrap up for the day. Obviously, I'm not going to run through the whole list of cryptocurrencies. I just think that those are the sort of interesting ones to look at. Obviously, Bitcoin still my favorite coin over there. It's still the alpha male of the cryptocurrency market, and I always keep some money in Bitcoin, because that for me is my store of value. One thing I wanted to touch on that I haven't done in videos for ages is Bitconnect, and I will do Bitpetite just after this one. But I haven't actually touched my Bitconnect wallet for a while, as I said, because of just some stuff going on at home, my sort of fiance being in and out of hospital and stuff. So basically, I'm not going to cover what the whole Bitconnect platform is at the moment, but there is an investment platform, Bitconnect. I have some videos made on Bitconnect. Just check out other videos on my channel. There is a Bitconnect playlist which will give you a rundown of what it is, how it works, how to invest money into it, and all that sort of stuff. But basically, this is my Bitconnect platform at the moment. I put about $230 into it on the 22nd of the 8th, which is roughly about a month ago, a little bit more than a month ago. And I've steadily been earning interest on my capital and reinvesting some of my capital. So you can see that every time I've had a $10, I've reinvested that on the 1st of the 9th, the 4th of the 9th, the 11th of the 9th, I invested 10 again, and then there was a bit of a gap. Then I put sort of $20 back into it. But what I'm really just doing at the moment is compounding the interest that I'm earning. So the interest that I'm earning is roughly around 1% a day, give or take. And that 1% a day you can reinvest once it hits $10 or multiples of 10. And you guys can see over here that I've earned a total of $83.64 in a month, just sort of in interest earned. So if you can see in my lending wallet here, I've got $33 sitting there at the moment. This is either that I can extract and pay out to myself or as Bitcoin, and change that from Bitcoin. So if you're unfamiliar with the Bitconnect tokens, so when it's in your lending wallet, I change $33.64 into Bitconnect tokens, which I can then exchange to a Bitcoin. And the current value of Bitconnect is $131.01, and I'm still a big fan of Bitconnect. You know, there's all these things. It's been going for like over a year, well over a year. It's you know, at least in the cryptocurrency space, a mature company. And there's been a lot of talk about, is it a scam? Is it a Ponzi scheme? Da, 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 da. Everything that I've seen about it suggests no. You can find hundreds of videos on the internet that people have done about Bitconnect and the returns they've been able to put out of Bitconnect. And some time ago, Bitconnect did go down for like a couple of days because there was a bug in their software and their investment platform, and people thought that they shut up shop and ran away with money. And actually, the fact that they did not, they came back and everyone still had their money and still continued trading for me. Established a lot of trust in their platform, and that it does work. So I'm still pretty confident. I still promote Bitconnect because you know what, it's a great way for me to just build passive income, to reinvest my interest and keep on compounding that, and just keep on building the amount of passive income that I do earn out of Bitconnect. So as I said, currently I've earned I've got a total of 280 invested, and my strategy is that I'm just going to keep on reinvesting till I get about $500, and once I've hit $500, I'm going to then start taking out some of the money I earn, just to get my ROI, because as I said, I initially put in $230 and I want to get some of that ROI back. But at least I'm confident that when I've got a sum of $500 in my Bitconnect account, the interest payments on the $500, the daily interest payments on those $500 are greater, and I can then get my ROI out a lot quicker. And then once I've got my ROI out, I can then continue to reinvest and compound that money. And then from that point on, it's just free money, basically. So yeah, what I'm just going to do at the moment, I'm just going to reinvest that $33 that I have in there, if it works. Maybe not. Let's try refreshing. Oh, balls. It's logged me out. But I'm not going to do that now because I'm too lazy to log back in. But basically, I'm just going to reinvest that $33 back in. So, moving on to my next one, Bitpetite. Again, not going to go into too much detail about Bitpetite. I did make other videos about Bitpetite explaining exactly what it is, all that sort of stuff. But effectively, just a short explanation, Bitpetite is a Bitcoin tumbler service. They also offer an investment platform, and the investment platform, the money that you lend or invest in the platform, you effectively lend it to the platform, is what they use to fund the Bitcoin tumbler. And for the money you invest, they obviously pay you an interest, because they do charge a fee for tumbling Bitcoin, and that is obviously reinvested and paid to the learners month. So it's about 4.5% per. Well, yeah, I want to say 4.5% per day, but actually you get paid a dividend every hour. And they say the total return is 147%. That's not your interest. Your interest is 47% because you get the 100% back that you put in plus 47%. So again, as I said, my advice is don't invest more than you're willing to lose. So I was testing out Bitpetite service, put 188 quid in, or three Litecoin, as you guys can see, put 3 Litecoin into it, invested that for 6 weeks, and I'm having it paid back in Litecoin. So if we just put 3 Litecoin in there, you can see that my daily net income is 0.135 Litoshis. I think it's called Litoshis, but yeah, so I'm getting this dividend. I've got a steady. I've already got 3.06 Litecoin in there, which I can withdraw to a Litecoin wallet at this point in time. And other people have been withdrawing cash without, or their investments in it without any trouble. I'm going to leave mine to mature. Once it's matured, I'm going to extract, and I should get a total of 4.41 Litecoin when my 6-week period is finished. I'm going to extract 1.4 Litecoin and put 3 back in. and then I actually will go for I might go for the nine week period, but actually I think that the 6 week period serves me better. But yeah, so I'm just going to keep on every 6 weeks. I'll just extract my one Litecoin until I have my 3 Litecoins, and then after that I'll just keep on reinvesting and compounding and compounding and compounding. But so far Bitpetite's working for me. I haven't had any issues. A lot of the other videos and people that I've seen on YouTube, no one's having any issues with it, so it's working pretty well. People can withdraw money. I'm quite happy with it at this point in time. But yeah, so so that's pretty much it for me for this video. I know it's been a bit of a long video, purely just because I had a lot to cover, having been out of action for a while. But yeah, so I'm going to obviously put this on video, but I'm also publishing this video and other videos onto my my Steemit account. So if you're not aware what Steemit is a social network that basically you can earn money on posting your content on Steemit. So I will be posting this video blog and all my other video logs on Steemit, and you can go and find me there. And if you do like this video, obviously please click the like button down below, but also go and like my my Steemit page. And yeah, guys, that's it for me. As I said, if you like other videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I will be making videos more regularly, and I do promise not all my videos are half an hour long, but as I said, this was just a catch up, a lot of news to catch up on, a lot of crypto market sort of stuff to catch up on, and I just wanted to cover my Bitconnect and Bitpetite stuff at the moment. As always, if you're interested in Bitpetite and Bitconnect, I've got links down below in the description where you can click to sign up and open an account. So do go and have a look at that. I can certainly recommend them. Just out of my own experience, they seem to be working for me. But yeah, if you're interested in signing up to them, just click on the links down below in the description. Thanks for tuning into my video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.